I need to apologize to you because I feel like I've been propagating a myth that is absolutely not true. And I want to dispel that myth right here, right now, because I want you to have a better and more clear understanding of the life and culture here in the United States. So from the movies and from the internet and from the news and even from me, you keep hearing about American people chasing their dreams and following their passion and traveling and just being out there and going. And I want to break the bubble and tell you the truth that it's simply not that way. Life here in the United States for 99.9% of the people is incredibly similar to life you have in China. People go to school. After school, they go to work or they go to college. During that time, they usually get married. They have a child. They buy a house. They have another child. They buy a bigger house. They buy a car and then another car. And they live a life of 9 to 5 at work, coming home, watching television, going to see their children play sports, or maybe they have some small hobby. Of course, people do some things themselves. But then they eat dinner and then they watch some TV and then they go to bed. And they get up the next day and they do the same thing again. And most people look forward to the 2 or maybe 3 weeks that they might have as a vacation during the summer. And they take their family to the beaches in Mexico. Maybe they go to Europe. Some people with some adventure might come to visit China. But that's what people do here. Life is extremely normal and average. So what I realize is that I always think of myself as a normal, average American guy. But I'm really humble, and I don't really think about it that much. I just live my life. But if I do step back, and if I do really think about it, I am absolutely atypical. I am not like any of the people here in the United States. I'm completely different. Now, in the beginning, up until I was 28 or 29, my life was typical. I got married young. I had an apartment in New York City, and, I had a New York City life. But then my marriage didn't work, so I left. And then suddenly I was 28 or 29 years old, and I was free again. And for me, I don't know why, but I decided to go to Mexico. And since then, for 20 years, I've just been zooming around the world and just doing what I like to do. But nobody does this. Nobody does this. All of the people have their jobs. They want stability. And my life is all about risk taking. Every day is a new challenge, is a new thing that I don't know what to do. And that's what I like most. I like to go places and not know what's happening, and I have to figure it out and learn. And so every day for me is unstable, uncertain. I don't know what's going to happen. And most people don't want to live that way in the United States or anywhere else in the world. People like certainty. I like uncertainty. So it's atypical. It's not normal for this country. All of my friends from high school who I'm still in touch with, most of them all live very close to home. Look at this map. This map shows you the distances that people live from their hometown here in the United States. Look at the Northeast. I mean, people, it seems, most of them stay very close to home. That's where I'm from, and most of my friends there are still very close to home. You can go to the Midwest and people are further away, but that's because the land here is so big. People stay close to home. It's easier. It feels good. It's practical. You can get help from your parents and your family. So when people move a lot of times, maybe it's because of jobs, other possibilities, things to do. But most people like being home because it's familiar and you feel warm and you feel comfortable. When you're out of your zone, when you're far away from who you've been your whole life and what you're used to, people are incredibly uncomfortable. I told you I have friends who I asked to come visit me in China, and my buddy's wife said, "Do they have Western toilets?" And I said, "They do, but not everywhere." And she said, "Oh, I can't come." Right? So it's crazy. They won't even come visit me. Even here, now I'm in the United States. And people are close by, but it's hard for them to change their life. And I said, oh, just get in the car, drive for 2 days in the car and come visit me. But it's too difficult for people to do because they have their lives, they have their responsibilities, and mine is completely different. So I'm sorry, maybe I've pretended to be this very normal, average American guy, and I'm not. I'm not saying I'm any better, but I'm completely different. Now, you're going to say, well, I've met other Americans here in China, and they're just like you, John. Yes, they are. But we are a very small percentage of this culture. Anybody who you meet in China, any foreigner who you meet, they're already different than where they're coming from because they've decided to change their life and go across the world to be in China, just like I did. So you can't think about those people because they're part of me, like our group. But the rest of the country is 9 to 5, 5 days a week, Saturday, Sunday, hang out. You mow the lawn, you go play with your kids in the park, you have a picnic, and Monday, boom, back to work. That's what people do. So when you see it in the movies and everything looks so cool and everybody's wow, it's the movies. Remember, it's Hollywood. But normal life here is like normal life in China. Here, even look at this. I just found this article just now today. The Pew Research Center just did a study right now, and 52% of people between 18 years old and 29 years old are still living at home with their mother and father. Now, some of that, of course, is because of the pandemic, but it just shows you that almost half of the young adults here in the United States are still home with mom and dad. That's no different than in China. And I think it's really important for you to understand and accept this concept so that when you're thinking about the United States and you're thinking about all these changes and all these relations, that you understand that we're very similar in this regard. Cool? All right, I just wanted to clear that up. I appreciate you listening. I hope you're doing well. I'm enjoying my life here in the United States right now at the moment. I'll talk to you soon.